Hi guys and girls, welcome back to my channel. I do hope you're doing well. Now this video I actually have filmed a couple of weeks ago and the footage got corrupted. If you remember on my community I said guys, footage was just an absolute nightmare. So I've got a spare evening, so we are refilming it, but this time you have Dan in the background. So there may be some assumptions that you hear from him on because I think the assumptions are quite funny. Dan, on the other hand, may not find them quite funny, and he's giving me a RBF in the background right here. But I was like, you know what? Let's film it with him in the background. We can see his opinions and also to see what your assumptions are of me. And guys, let's hope for the second time that this footage does not corrupt. So I'm in the corner. I have the drinks trolley by me just in case we feel like we need a drink. I've got Hamish sitting here with me, and let's get in because this phone actually holds quite a few juicy assumptions, which some of them I would love to know where you've got the things from, because let's get into it. Right, are you going to be all right there, mate? Let's put me arm around you. So let's start off. So if you want to get involved in these types of videos, I always ask over on my Instagram and my email down below. I'll do a story for it. You can send it in. Everything's anonymous, and as I say, I said to you guys, rude, tame, blunt, just being plain nosy, whatever you want to know, send it in. And yeah, you guys definitely sent a lot in. Let's have a look. We'll kick off. Hi Shan and Mama G. Mama G, she will be saying hello from the distance. Is your old room at Mama G's already fixed so your mum can relax on the sofa? It's probably about 80% done. I actually just need to help her rearrange what she wants where, and she's being a little bit of a drama queen at the moment. She doesn't know what type of sofa she wants. So currently she has my old 3-poster bed in there just as something to sit on. But yeah, she's being a diva. She doesn't know she wants a corner, 2 and a 2. So we're just going to have to let her be on that one. But she's happy relaxing on a bed in the living room and a bed in a bedroom. So life of luxury, eh? Hi Beauty, from your last mukbang with Mum, speaking about when you have disagreements with each other, have you and Dan had your first disagreement yet?
We're human.
We have bickers. I think, as you say, you wouldn't be... Oh God, I've just knocked something down the back of the sofa. Hey ho. You wouldn't be human if you didn't have disagreements and bickers. But what I would say is probably our disagreements are not to do with us, it's to do with stuff that we can't control. That's our bickers and disagreements that we have. It's stuff that is not directly us doing or saying something. It's third parties that we can't control, and that's our disagreements. But yeah, you'd know if it was, because I'd be like, this is solo home and everything's going back to solo now, guys. You take no crap from anyone, not in work, not in life. And if you're not happy, you will say your piece exactly like I do. I think that's a fair assumption.
Too blunt sometimes.
Look, Mum says I'm savage. Mum says I'm like a snake once I start. She's like, you're just venom and you have no filter. Please or offend in life. I'm just like, I haven't got time. I'm getting on a bit now. And I think as I'm getting older as well, I just realise that you can't sugarcoat things. I will be very direct. My friends know where they stand with me. If they was to come in wearing something and say, do I look nice? If I thought it was thing, I'd be like, let's look at something else, because I wouldn't want my friend to go out and either have people ridicule or them not feel comfortable. So I think honesty is the best policy always. Dan and Mama G think that I'm savagely blunt most of the time, but everyone knows where they stand with me. And yeah, I don't care what scenario it is. If I've got something to say, I will say it. And then it's out in the open. That's the way I was brought up. And I mean, well, you've seen how Mum's very direct. You wonder where I get it from. You always put others first before yourself. Now I would say, yeah, maybe. That's just nodding in the background. I'm very much a giver. I like to make sure everyone else is all right, and then I'll worry about myself after. So if, say, I'm getting in, I'll sort the dinner out for us and then I'll chill after. Like, I'll always make sure that everyone else, if Mum's okay, Dan's okay, everyone's okay, and then I'll look after what I need to do. And then whether that's, well, you're up till midnight editing because you've spent the evening catching up on a series together or something like that, I will always prioritise everything else over stuff that I need to do. But tonight we're actually prioritising this over dinner at the moment. It's a quick dinner tonight, so we haven't got too much to do. You don't have lots of friends, but the ones you do are incredibly loyal. It's quality over quantity.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
I would say I could count my true friends on one hand, and I'm quite happy with that. At school, I was in a big group and we had a lot of acquaintances, but obviously you grow up, everyone goes their own way, people dwindle, friendships change. And now I would say having one hand, and I know that everyone on that one hand, if I was to call them at whatever time in the morning, they would answer and be like, right, what's up? We always see on TikTok where you may have seen them if you're on TikTok, and it'll be your best friend calls and it just says, for example, I don't know, dress in a disguise and bring a weapon. And there'll be like Mr. Blobby running down with a baseball bat. That would be us, like our group of friends. That would be us, like no questions asked. Just tell us where we need to be, what we need to do. We're there. So yes, definitely quality over quantity any day of the week. And I think I'd rather have that. It's just less ag as you get older. I have a lot of acquaintances, I would say, but friends, definitely one hand. You didn't tell us about Dan at the beginning because you were scared of getting hurt again. Potentially. You've got to think, guys, I was a year single and it was a lot for me to adjust to. I was very set in my ways.
You was too busy enjoying life, weren't you?
Dan will tell you, I was very much set in my ways, like...
Your holidays, your log cabins.
Yeah.
Your concerts, you doing you.
And I didn't know how, like, I'd gone... Well, I say towards the end of my last relationship, I was quite independent anyway because that kind of just fizzled. But I then got into a routine of doing stuff for myself, out with mum. And I kind of didn't know how a relationship would fit back into that because I did get very much set in my ways. I was in my routine. This is what I'd done every night. This is what I'd done on weekends, la-di-da-di-da. But you will always have some form of element of your guard up, no matter what type of relationship it will be, whether it be a family relationship, personal relationship. I think there will always be that type of guard that you feel you have to keep up just in case. You never know. And I think it did take me a little while to adjust, I think, in terms of routine, weren't it? It was very different because all of a sudden mum would be like, oh no, I don't want to go out, you can go out with Dan. And I'm like, oh. So mum kind of pied me off on some things. If I said to her, mum, let's go up London for the day, she'd be like, Shan, I don't want to be doing 15,000 steps, thank you. You can go with Dan. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I do feel I still have a good balance between being at the house now, me and Dan, our weekends, time with mum. I feel like the balance is getting there now. It was a lot all over the place last year because we were still settling in. But now we're pretty much here 95% of the time. We still, as I say, for the next 2 weekends, we're down at mum's. We're in London, it's Mother's Day, so we're down there for the next 2 weekends. So definitely having the balance. But yeah, and trust me, I am very, if I feel like I'm getting hurt, I am very much one to be like, nope, ta-ta. And that hasn't happened. So here we are. My oh my. Well, I don't have any assumptions, but I would like to know, apart from travelling and doing YouTube, when do you think you will find your forever home? I think, well, I've got 5 years, well, 4 years left on this mortgage. I think because of parental ages and that, I might have to remortgage for a year or two. Mum is already asking if I'm going further north. You're going to have to call me every night on the baby cam. And I'm going to have to, it's going to have to be somewhere where I can get a train from King's Cross to get up to you. I would like to say I'll be in my forever home. What am I now? Oh my God, I'm coming up to 30. 38. 8 years. Definitely before 40. I don't want to be doing renovations when I'm 40 plus.
I don't want to be moving when I'm 40.
You'd be 45, darling.
Oh, well, there you go.
So it's either 35 for me and 40 for Dan, or 40 for me and 45 for you.
Me and the Zimmer frame half up the stairs.
Definitely before I'm 40, I would like to have the forever home. Do you think that you guys will tie the knot, and if so, when? Or are you happy as things are? Love you all and your vlogs, and always sending love and support always. Thank you very much, my lovely. See, this is something if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's kind of like a children's situation. I'm just very much like, yeah, go with the flow. We'll see how it is. Because I think if you start putting titles on stuff and pressuring stuff, it then starts getting a bit like claustrophobic. And you're thinking like, well, this needs to be done and that needs to be done and, well, that time there. And I just think, yeah, I've kind of grown up. I think probably from my first relationship, I grew up quick knowing that it's not all going to be flowers and roses and the big weddings and all that jazz. And it's kind of like, yeah, okay, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. What I would like to look back when I am older would be, I travelled there, I travelled there, I travelled there. Like, we'll get a map, we'll put everywhere we've travelled to. If it happens, it happens, but it's not the be all and end all of our life at the moment. We're quite happy plodding along. As we are. That doesn't mean that I might not buy myself diamonds. Don't get me wrong, guys. When we've been out, I've been eyeing up some diamond rings. Like, I'm going to treat myself for my 30th from me to me and get myself a diamond. Why not, eh? I think you will get married one day. Who knows? I could maybe marry myself.
Oh, shut up.
You hear of that?
Like one of them people off of the internet.
No.
For God's sake, you dress half woman, half man. Christ.
No, I just thought my 2 longest relationships in life is with Blanky and Bug. I could marry my blanket or I could marry my car. People have married their cars before. Yeah,
both are giving up, so whichever one you feel.
Don't you say that. Bug, you're all good.
That's not wood, is it?
Bug's good. Bug's getting me from A to B, and trust me, Bug flies on that motorway. She's doing good. Don't put that in the universe.
Okay.
This could be where the assumptions take a turn and it will be solo. This is our disagreement right now.
See it firsthand, people.
Oh! Saucy. Here we go. Count me in. Apart from the bedroom, have you ever had sex elsewhere? And have you ever found Dan turn on in places? I love this because you guys literally go in and ask everything and anything. I think he's human. And women, if you know men, you know sometimes that things can pop up in the most randomest of places, at the most randomest of times, for the most randomest of reasons. And I think we've definitely been in a few situations like that.
Definitely.
You'll be like, you could be doing something so
innocent. Yeah.
And then us as women, we might look and be, you feeling all right? And you'll be like, I don't know what's happening. And then you have to do the old waistband trick. And guys, we're human. And as I say, men are men. Things happen in their heads, and their little person has a mind of their own, and they just pop out when they want to. And of course, apart from the bedroom, yes, there is places experimented. I don't think it's been anything that's out of the ordinary. I think a lot of people have. We just might be a bit more later on in life to experience some of these places, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone watching you would presume you are a very confident person. Is that correct? Or if not, what are your tips on how to fake it till you make it? Oh, I don't know. I would...
Oh.
That's hard for me.
See, because I think you're a very reserved person. If
I am in new situations.
If somebody was to see you outside and they was to come up to you, you would be lovely, and you have been lovely. But inside you're going, ah!
I'm very much like, if you guys come up to me, I've had a few, and Dan's actually been with me on one. I'm kind of like shell-shocked at the beginning because I'm like, sorry, I don't know who you are. And then I can't process that people know who I am. And I'm like,
I should know your name, but I don't.
Yeah, and I'm like, excuse me, sorry. Me and Dan was in London and we met a couple of lovely ladies.
I'm going to throw in that up. It might be, was it Sandra maybe?
It began with S. Sandy? We was literally, what part of London was we in?
Victoria.
And we was literally just walking down and I just heard my name get shouted. And I looked and I thought, that's not Dan's voice. And then these 2 ladies come over and I was like, oh my God. And one was like, I watch your channel. And I was like, oh, hi. And then they
were both lovely.
They weren't, they was like, oh, this is Dan. We're like, hi, what are you doing? We had like a good little chinwag, wasn't it? They'd been to see a show. And we was actually off to...
Was we just going for a walk?
No, we was off somewhere on a massive
daughter.
walk. Yes, we was off to our poetry night because we'd walked from main London through to Vauxhall. God, that was a long day, my lovelies, with plenty of steps. And they'd just seen a show.
That's it.
And when I saw Claire and Debbie, when me and Mum was at Leicester Square, again, we're just casually walking through to Marco Pierre. I hear my name get called and I'm like, I have this lady coming towards me and they're like, hi. And I'm like, hi. And I'm like, do I know you? Where do I know you from? And she's like, I watch your channel. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Not going to lie, guys, in Leicester Square, I was thinking, oh my God, that was the last place that I thought I would have got spotted. And we stood there, we had pictures, we had selfies. Mum gets spotted a lot more than me.
Yeah.
Mum, I get pictures sent to me like of people having selfies with Mum, or being like, I've just seen your mum in Primark, and like I've called her on the escalator and she's given me a wave, and I'm like, okay. And then the first thing, Mum will call me and she'll be like, I got spotted again today. I'm like, okay. She gets spotted more than me. She does, and she'll always have a chin wag with you, my lovelies, as I say. But I would say, if I have to be in a situation where I have to be confident, i.e. something within my profession or holding myself in certain situations, I do think I am confident, and I come across very, probably because I'm quite direct and blunt with my confidence.
That's right.
Potentially. But if I'm going into situations that I don't know, I hate walking into a room where I don't know anyone. Or say like us at Christmas parties, I hated walking in first, because even though you know those people, it's a different situation. Like, you're all out of work, everyone's like doled up, it's different. I don't like situations like that. Give me a couple of drinks and then I'm absolutely fine. But I think fake it till you make it. You've got to be overconfident, and whatever you feel, oh, I wish I could be like that, be it but 10 times more. And before you know it, you will be faking it till you made it, and then you'll make it and you won't have to fake it. But yeah, I can be very quiet in situations that I'm not comfortable in, or I will go quiet if I'm in a situation where I feel I've got to do something or I've got to say something, but the repercussions are going to be like catastrophic. That's when I go quiet. 9
times out of 10, your mouth's already gone before your brain's thought of that, though.
It does. I do think, no, I think I do have I have a good bit of self-control.
Yeah?
I've had many incidences where I've had to keep my mouth shut. Yeah. And I've been very dignified. I would like to think that. Dan's like, I'm going to go and do a drink and skip out of this one. But yeah, I think it all just depends. But I do believe what you see on here is what you get. As I say, in real life, I'm exactly like this, but I would be a little bit more quiet if you was to approach me in the street. And then once I've like know who you are, or we get on a name basis, I'm absolutely fine. But yeah, if you do see me though, please come over. Don't ever think, no, I can't go over to her. What are you getting to drink? Nothing. You get a whiskey? Maybe. We've got the drinks trolley here. He's working through the cabinet first. Right. Hello, my lovely. Not an assumption, more what's been observed. You are very caring and protective of your loved ones. Mama G is super proud of you, as she should be. You have an amazing man by your side who is totally besotted with you. I don't know where they got that assumption. Oh God, we've got a creaky door, guys, sorry.
There's a WD on that. And
you and him are an extremely hard workers, working hard for your home and your little breaks away with your main holiday. I love all your YouTube content, and I've been watching you since almost at the beginning, and I love to have seen how you've grown with your confidence and blossomed on YouTube. It's been amazing, and I cannot wait for your next chapters. Ah, lots of love and hugs. Thank you very much. Well, I would like to think that I've grown and changed. I mean, I've been doing it for 5 years now. Oh my God, ended this month's the 5-year anniversary. Oh my God, guys, we've got to do a happy birthday video where we look over the last 12 months of videos. I love them videos. I love them. Yeah, I would like to think I've changed. I wouldn't like to still be the same, like, 25-year-old sitting in my room, basically waffling. I mean, I still sit here and waffle, but I've moved out. I've grown up. I've changed. You guys have seen me previously when I was in a relationship. You saw me when I was in my single phase and my solo phase, and now you guys see me in another relationship. So you kind of have been with me for quite a lot these last 5 years. So yeah, I would definitely like to think I've changed. But thank you very much. And you know me, my holidays are my holidays. That is what I work for. And I think People may work to drink, smoke, party, festivals, anything you want. You do you. Mine is my holidays and my log cabins, because I think we all need a little bit of relaxation. One of my lovely says, here we go. Well, I think I know most things about you. You probably do, actually. I would like to think that when you went hiking about 3 years ago, it was to think about your budding relationship with Dan. Dan actually come out and met me on that hiking trip. And also, it was a way for me to actually have my first hike. I used the maps, which put me in a dead-end field with horses. That wasn't great. And then I wore my hiking boots for the first time on about, how long was that hike? 7, 8 hours? We was out at the crack of dawn and we got back just after lunchtime, to the point the last mile or so I actually couldn't walk in my hiking boots because I'd started to get blisters. So maybe if you have hiking boots, break them in slowly on a little bit of a hike, and not something where you're full blown going for 7, 8 hours. Actually up like hills and everything, and uneven terrains, going through stinging nettles, yeah. But yeah, that was kind of also our thing, to see how we are together away, because I think it's all well and good when people are in their own environments and they're in their safety areas, but when you go to a completely different area in a different scenario, and as I say, Dan hiked before. I'd never done a hike in my life, so that was eventful to say the least. I liked nature, but I didn't really like being in nature in the mud and rose bushes and sticking nettles and spiders and birds and everything. So it was to see how we could be. But I mean, something must have gone right, because here we are almost 2.5 years later. Oh my God, that's gone quick. Jeez Louise. Right, let me quickly change Canon, because these are going to be the ones that I think you might hear back from Dan on. So yeah, don't go anywhere. Right, Hamish, are you ready for these? So I had this a few times and I was like, okay, but these accounts that these have come from, guys, they're not my normal accounts. So these have come through from Instagram, and they didn't have pictures or names. They was faceless accounts with a user ID 24 whatever. So we'll see, but if you guys want to be involved, I am more than happy. Let's have a look. You regret buying a house and you hate it now? No. I don't know where this has come from. I really don't. I think my first time buying home process was very different. First off, I done it on my own. Second of all, I moved 60 miles away from home. I moved 50 miles from my work. That's all very different to most people's first time home buying process. Normally they're doing it with a partner, they're moving in the same area. I went completely the opposite way. And then coming in somewhere where you have to renovate, where your weekends are consumed while still trying to have a life, and your evenings after work, after an hour's commute, you're coming back, you're renovating, you're doing bits and bobs. It was a long process. I mean, we're still on the final touches. You will get this house tour before the end of the month, I promise you guys. But it was very much work in progress. And in amongst that, we had the holiday, we had Christmas to try and sort for. But do I regret buying my house? No. Why would I regret being able to be in a position to financially support myself and purchase a property on my own? I am the only one out of my friendship group who is able to do that, and I don't regret it.
I wouldn't. What an achievement! What an investment that you've done. Sorry,
I'm getting like really nasally there, but no, I don't hate it. Don't get me wrong. At the beginning, it was hard work. It was hard after doing like the 12-hour days, doing the commute, coming here, and you're back up at 5 o'clock to get into work. It was long, but once we got into the swing of it, and I think the main thing, once that kitchen got done, that was the turnaround for it.
It's over halfway done then.
Yeah, and when we was on holiday, we had the lady who done the blinds. She come and painted the kitchen. So when we come back, kitchen and bathroom was painted. So we only had to worry about bits and bobs. The hallway, that was a big task that we done between us. I say we done between us. More Dan done it, and I assisted and tried to help.
No,
but that was that was definitely an experience. But no, I don't regret buying a house and I don't hate it. So if you do feel that, please let me know why. Because I don't think I've portrayed anything to show that I regret buying my house. I'm not miserable. Like, am I that miserable in the house, guys? Please do let me know. I mean, I'm not going to lie, in the reset day vlogs, I'm not jumping with joy when I'm doing the washing because it's actually the realisation of, crap, I've got to do adult things now. So if you need me to be very over dramatic when I'm putting the washing in and be singing and doing a pas-de-deux, please do let me know. You're up to your eyeballs in debt. I wouldn't say I'm up to my eyes, but I am in debt, and I think you would be buying a house. And as I say, again, the mortgage is solely me, so I have a 6-figure mortgage above my head, that's my debt. And I have 5 figures of debt in renovations and bits for the house. I don't think that's uncommon. The only thing that is different, as I say, normally it's done with a partner. So am I up to my eyeballs as a single person on it? No, because I still manage it. I still manage to pay all of my debts, put a little bit left over and enjoy a life. So no. I mean, don't get me wrong, love to win a few little noughts on the lottery or a scratch card right now. I did win a £5 today on my tombola bingo.
No, you didn't.
Check me out. That's why I went and treated myself to a lemon ice cream. Still got 50p's worth of change. This is quite funny. Mama G is not here to answer this one, but maybe Dan can. Mama G and Dan do not get on at all. It's all fake.
Whoa. Stop there.
Coming out with the big words now. It's fake.
Fuck right off.
Beep, beep. Sorry, guys. No, they do get on.
She's lovely. Honestly, she's like a second mother.
And she adores Dan.
If I needed to talk to anyone, without a shadow of a doubt, I could go there and she'd give me response and guidance of what I need and the best way, whether I like it or not.
See, this is where I get, like, we're both very direct. Guys, if Mama G did not like Dan, do you think that she would have allowed him to move into the house?
Yeah.
If and when I wasn't there, I weren't even in the country. And she felt comfortable enough with Dan to do that. That was her house. That wasn't, even though I paid half for everything, that was still Mum's home. Like, I wouldn't just say, oh yeah, by the way, I'm moving my fella in next week. Like, Mum would have to say so. And that was all done while I was away. I come back and I was like, okay, if Mum didn't like Dan, that never would have happened.
Yeah. She
would have been like, unfortunately, no, I want it just me and Shan for now. And it would have been like, okay, Mum would be very honest, very direct. But no, Mum and Dan, honestly, like, I would come in from work sometimes and they'd be chin wagging themselves and I'd be like, oh, I'm just going to take myself off to have a bath, all right? I'm just not going to get in.
You could happily do that.
Yeah.
I tell you what, sometimes when you meet in-laws, there's like an awkward silence or an awkward feeling. I have never felt awkward around that lady at all. Never.
She never lets there be silent. She's always rabbiting like me.
No, but there's always something to talk about. Like, what's she done in the day? What she done? You got what's her friends up to? Like, she's always she might meet a friend chatting. Or she's always out and about doing things.
Or she'll be like, Dan, I've got a light bulb. Can you get up and change it for us, please? I can't find the step ladder.
Batteries on the
smoke alarm. But no, they do get on, guys, and I mean, I think maybe because. Well, no, I think you guys have seen Mum and Dan together in vlogs. Like, if it's been a food vlog and we're all chatting in the background, like, there's never, as you say, that awkwardness or, like, hostility or nothing. It's never. Like, okay. But, yeah, that did make me laugh. This one makes me laugh. You're in denial that you've gained weight. Honey, I ain't in denial about anything. I know I've gained weight, and I am the first one to admit and rib myself. I got sent a screenshot today. And I laughed because I was like, what are you gaining from that? Because I've actually already said it myself. If you guys have seen the Shein haul, Dan really likes dungarees. I got a pair of dungarees. And I've said many a times, ripped things make my legs look like a loin of pork, like a pork Sunday joint. And I got sent a screenshot from my lovely thread this morning, and it was me next door to a loin of pork. My lovelies, nothing you can say can affect me because, trust me, I've said it all before about myself. People can call me fat, huge, humongous. They're not words that I haven't said about myself, so it's not hurting. I think I probably am my worst critic. and I'm far from in denial. I know that I've put on weight. I'm doing things slowly, but at the end of the day, it's not the be all and end all of my life. If I've put on a few pounds, well, tough titties. That is unfortunately what happens when you are content. And I like my food. I can't be someone who gets in like, now, we're going to have a pizza tonight, but tomorrow I'm doing the fake way. I'm going to have some marinated chicken wings and salad. But then I might fancy doing a stew, and we might have plenty of bread with it and butter, or a brie bacon camembert.
Oh, that's
bacon brie or camembert. That is in there. I was checking the date on it. I am the first person to criticise myself. So if people think they can say things and, oh, it's going to get to her, it doesn't. I will stand in front of a mirror and call myself every name under the sun. I will do things that I shouldn't do, and I noticed at some points I was starting to regress slightly, and because me and Dan are very open, I told him certain things and he wasn't happy with me. But I'm not in denial. I'm not bothered by what people say, because trust me, if you want to call me fat, I've called myself fat hundreds and thousands of times in front of a mirror. So yeah, I'm not in denial. I think that's a poor assumption. I know I'm a little bit more chunky, but hey.
I can still pick you up.
Sometimes you gotta have a little bit of pizzazz. Mum will always say to me, you guys will hear in videos, she'll be like, Shan, your legs. Guys, even when I was in the gym, and Dan knew me when I was in my gym phase, I was at the gym 6 times a week. My legs never shrunk. They got firmer and they got stronger. Not gonna lie, they're a bit wobblier now, but my thighs never shrunk. That was the one place that didn't go. Well, that was, I think, from my karate and that, and my upbringing. And
you're squatting.
I did like me squatting. My PT always used to make me do my squats, and
it'd
be like, "Come on, put them weights on." I'd be like, oh, but yeah, I'm not in denial. I do miss my PT sometimes, but it's so far.
It's hard to do it when you've got the travel, because you think you waste 2 hours doing that. So
I'll be like, James, we need to meet halfway. Just go in the field or something and shout at me and chuck a tyre at me. We're all good. You stay at Mama G's 95% of the week. I think this is because sometimes you guys can see 2-3 videos on a bounce and think, oh, well, she must be there every night. I am at Mum's once to twice a week. At the moment, I haven't seen her for over a week because I've been a bit poorly. I don't want to get her ill on that. I speak to her most nights on the baby cam. I speak to her and scare her every day on the Ring doorbell. I scared her today because I'd messaged her and she didn't reply to me last night. And I thought, strange. So I messaged her again this morning and she still didn't reply. But I see that she was in and out of the doorbell, and I'm like, so she was coming in this morning and I was like, oi. She was like, oh, gonna give me a blooming heart attack. I was like, why are you not answering me? She went, my phone's been on the blink. I've just been down to Tesco and had it sorted. I was like, oh, okay then. She was like, what? I was like, because I've been messaging and I'm thinking, God, you're swanning off and out everywhere and you're not even replying to your daughter. But no, as I say, it's once to twice a week at Mum's. Or if I'm not seeing her in the week, we'll see her in the weekends. As I say, because I've been a bit poorly, I haven't been down this week, but we're seeing her for the next 2 weekends. So no, I don't stay at Mum's every night. And sometimes, if say I stay at Mum's in the week, we can film 4 or 5 videos in one night. So that doesn't mean I'm there 4 or 5 nights of the week, my lovelies. You didn't enjoy Scotland as it wasn't just the 2 of you like your normal log cabins. That's a poor assumption as well. It was a very different holiday, but probably up there with one of the most memories we've made. Like 7 of us, Ted, everyone met. Everyone, like now in the group chat, it's like, right, we're having FaceTimes when everyone's round so everyone can catch up. I think that is very, very far. And I did see a few screenshots were sent to me from the thread about Scotland and being discussed. And some of them I did show Dan, and it got a little bit heated because the things that people assume off of what I don't know what they assume, it just baffles me. I don't see how people or adults think they can speak on behalf of children who are not their own when you've never seen them, you never will see them, you might hear them in the background, but how you can make an assumption that people didn't enjoy their time, which is as far from the truth as it could be.
Let me clear that they had a fantastic time with not only 2 people that actually do enjoy being around them, but they met 2 people, 3 people, sorry. And we had a fantastic time, all 4 of us. So.
And actually, they met 2 other people. The 2 Highland cows.
Oh my God,
guys! We went up close.
They fed the Highland cows.
I know.
They were over the moon.
And yeah, so we're actually already planning the next time, because they're already asking when they can next go up and when Brogan, Liam and Teddy are coming down. So there will be more montages of the 7 of us to come in the future. So no.
So shove it up your arse.
You and Dan argue all the time in secret.
We do. Oh.
Do them dishes.
She licks all the covers, for God's sake. She puts her cold feet on me.
God, that's one.
She does. She nicks all my heat.
I can't. I tell you what, when I get his cold feet on me, I get my payback, because we'll be somewhere and I'll have a freezing cold hand and I'll just
my God, they're terrible.
down the back of the top.
They're ridiculously cold.
So he puts his cold feet on me and I'll put my cold hands all over him. But yeah, I mean, we argue 24/7. The fact that we're sitting here being amicable, this is just fake.
It is. You wait.
It'll be upstairs after. Yeah, once the camera's off, it'll be upstairs. I'll shout him at the bottom of the stairs when his dinner's ready, and then he can take it up on his tray and be done with it.
Exactly.
It's going in the spare room. We don't even stay in the same beds, my lovelies. He's in the spare room. When the children are here, I come down on the sofa and he's in the bed. Like, we just never share a bed.
Like Lord and Lady Mark.
We detest each other. We really do. This tickled me. This one actually was 5 messages on Instagram, with each had 1 word. And I thought, oh, it's very theatrical. And it was, Dan's children hate your food. Now, I'm the first to admit, I've had some pretty terrible cooking disasters on this channel. I haven't had a disaster actually cooking for them.
They're kids. They hate vegetables. They enjoy chicken nuggets. They enjoy pasta. They don't like pasta sauce. They'll eat ketchup till it's coming out their ears. But all in all, they do not like it. If we put something in front of them, they will eat it. We had my daughter eating sushi the other day. She tried that, and she didn't even realise it was fish.
Waitrose classic.
Oh. But
the children are adventurous.
Yeah.
Like they tried haggis.
Exactly.
Didn't know it was haggis. Dan kept very quiet on that front.
You've got to. We've all been sneaky sometimes. We was out in a restaurant, Wildwood, and I got the.
He said it was octopus.
Oh yeah.
And then when he told me, I was like, Wildwood doesn't do octopus. So his children was like, Dad made us eat octopus, and I'm like, what did it look like? And they was like, it was this white stuff, and I was like, that's squid. Yeah. So actually, you made something completely different.
Completely different. But they did eat it, and they did enjoy it.
I don't just cook and put it in front. I will always ask what they want. So like last week, we had tacos. Didn't know what to have, and I'm like, right, what can we do? And Taco Bell, they absolutely love. So I was like, how about homemade tacos? But that went down good.
But you went above and beyond. You had separate dishes. So we had spicy. They had non-spicy.
You can't give it spicy.
There was crunchy and soft tortillas. They could choose. They could mix their own. They decided how much cheese they wanted on top. They made their own taco. Which
I think for children is a good thing as well. If people have children that are maybe a bit cautious with food, let them get involved. So as I say, with the tacos, I put it all down and it was like, help yourself with your cheese, whatever, because then they're getting involved and they can decide the quantities. Oh, I want to try that. I don't want that. And a roast dinner. Dan's very sad about this, but everyone unanimously votes that I have the best Yorkshire puddings.
I feel there's some like...
he feels really ganged up on that.
Yeah.
When that topic of conversation comes up and it's a unanimous yes.
Or constantly getting, these are better than yours. And you sort of feel, I feel like you're just doing it to spite me.
Or they'll say, can we have Shannon's jacket potatoes?
Yes.
Jacket potato. Like, you can't go wrong with a jacket potato. And something so simple, you can put so much stuff on it. But no, I've never had, I'm not eating that, because I think we're involved when it's meal times.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's stuff that they try and they're like, I don't like that, I'm like, that's absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I've never had like, it's never been spat out, or I'm not eating that, or...
No.
I think you get them involved and you just take it as is. And as they're growing up, their taste buds are developing. So they might not like something now, but you could try, for example, the salmon.
Yeah.
With the sushi with Dan's daughter, she decided she liked it in the flavoured, but she didn't like it just on the rice. So you then can see what you like and what you don't, and vice versa. So yes. And then this one again was to do with you.
Me?
Well, it's an accumulation of you. This was the last one from the faceless user ID, whatever it was. You still have not met a single person of Dan's family. Well, I've met the two most important in his family, his children.
Mm-hmm.
And I have met some of Dan's family. So, no, that's a false assumption as well. Let's have a look. I just wanted to say that you are an amazing, genuine and loving, caring daughter to Mama G. She's one lucky lady. Oh, thank you. I try to be, as I say. Me and Mama G, we'll always have each other's backs. I think you're a lovely person with a great role model, Mama G. She is a good role model.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, I think for what she's been through the last 2 years, she's a force to be reckoned with, and she's coming out of her shell now, which I'm good. It's only took her 65 years to do it, but she's getting her voice. Do you get on okay with Dan's children? I think there's been no meltdowns. There's been no screaming matches. We all get on. And I think with Scotland as well, that was a long trip for everyone.
You're in a car for 8 hours. So I thought if there was going to be times where...
It would have been on that holiday.
Yeah, if things were going to fly off the handle, or if
in there
things were going to get said, it would have been in a claustrophobic car.
Mm.
And
also a different area, like they've never travelled to Scotland before. It's a whole, the way people talk and the scenery, everything's completely different.
Mm-hmm.
But we got by with no hiccups, so...
There was a few, I don't want to do that. And they'd be like, get in there, come on, let's go.
We had a lot of them, are we there yet? And you're like, oh darling, we're only like an hour into 8 hours. Have a sleep.
That was it.
But yeah, there's not any screaming matches and there's no crosswords.
No.
We all get on. It's very amicable. Can we please, and I say please because this was how it was written, can we please have more bikini content on YouTube?
No, that's for my eyes only, you cheeky sods.
You will probably see bikini snippets whenever we're next on holiday, which next abroad will actually just be Mexico.
Who writ that?
I will show you. I'm not saying because everything is anonymous. They have messaged me.
Yeah, dirty bastard, you.
They have messaged several times, so I don't feel, especially now, you don't need to see me while I'm packing a little bit extra. But by Mexico, I'll probably still be a bit chunky, I can't lie. But hey ho, you will never see a bikini try-on clip in, say, like a Primark video. It will only ever be if we're abroad and you just see a quick done. No one needs to see that and put them off their dinner. I think you're actually such a nice person and would always give real advice. I think that's a fair assumption. Mm-hmm. As I say, please or offend, I will always say what I think is honestly true. And if it does offend people, then I am sorry. But would you rather someone be honest with you or someone to sugarcoat things and then you might feel like a mug or a tit after? But yeah, I like to think that my advice is sound. Have you changed in your attitude or personality and in your vlog since you met your other half and bought a house? I don't think I have. I don't think I've changed. I might have got a bit more stressed with the house side of things because obviously I have a lot more responsibility now over my shoulders.
I think every now and again you try to keep things not upbeat, but you don't want things going stale. So you try and think of things that are out the box to deal with your YouTube. And we try and think of things together.
But as I say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Yeah. People might think boring content is repetitive, but it's worked for me for 5 years and I enjoy doing the content that I do.
And the thing is, some people do love it.
So I will think of things to jazz it up. Like say, for example, the vlogs that we do or the reset days, there'll be little snippets from memory days and that, like, which will be completely different experiences out of the blue. I love Virgin Experience days. I like me and them always. But it might be, as you guys will see, oh, well, we're off to the Shard today. And I like it, and I will always do my travel vlogs, even if it's just out in London for the day, because I have people who watch me and who message me who maybe can't get out. They could be in hospital, they could be ill, and they say, thank you, like, we feel like we've had a day out. And people who maybe aren't able to travel, they watch the holiday content and they're like, I feel like I've been St. Lucia with you. That is what I like. That I want to bring you guys along with everything for me. And yeah, I don't think I've changed though. I might have got a bit more, I definitely feel maybe a little bit more stressed. I think because you have the weight of everything now on you. Oh, 1 minute. Sorry, my lovelies, my memory card was just flashing. But apart from that, and I have been ill like 3 times already this year, so I am feeling a bit run down. But I do think Mother's Day weekend will be a nice chill weekend, have like a little bit of recoup, good food, and I think I'll be back on my feet. But I don't think I've changed. What you see is what you get, as I say. Please or offend, take it or leave it. It is what it is, I'm afraid. You're super confident and know who you are and accept yourself, but you're not aware of how amazing and beautiful it is to witness. Keep being you and people assume that you know the facts. Ah,
what a lovely thing to say.
Thank you. And this person, they've watched me for quite a while. We speak quite often on Instagram, so thank you. I'm not aware of it. That's nice. That's very nice. And the one that I'm ending on, my lovelies, this made me, I love this. Hi Shannon sweetheart, Dan the man and wonderful Mama G. Mama G says hi from the house. Assumption number 1. I love this. You are really a secret millionaire and the job in construction is a cover. You are the secret love child of Tom Jones, who had a passionate love affair with Mama G one hot summer night in Greece, and you've had to keep this secret for years. I'm actually going to tell her that when we're next down there, and I'll put it in a vlog, because she will be like, yes, yes. She'll be like, your father's not your father, it's Tom Jones. Dada's at home thinking, what the hell? She is my daughter because she's got my nose and my thumb joint. She's definitely mine. That gave me a tickle, that did. Imagine mum like on a Mamma Mia night in Greece with Tom Jones. And then the assumption number 2. You do work in construction, but in fact, you are the CEO and your dad is actually the owner of the company. I mean, for the amount of years my dad's worked at his company, he probably could be the CEO, bless him. I don't think he'd have the patience for it though. With my dad's profession within construction, it's very much now to do with grades. Whereas when my dad started it, when he was 16 years old, it was like your experience in that. So it does make me laugh sometimes because he'll say, I had a graduate, postgraduate, someone who's just qualified or they're qualifying with certain courses within dad's field of work. And they'll say to my dad, no, you don't do it like that. And my dad will take advice, but I remember getting a significant call one day and he was like, I'm not having a jumped up 20-year-old tell me something I've been doing for longer than he's been alive. And I was like, well, how did that go for you? He was like, he told me how you're supposed to do it via the textbook. I showed him how I do it through experience. And guess who ended up getting the result? I was like, was that you? He was like, of course it was me. I was like, yeah. I said, and how did that go? He said, the lad was like, oh, maybe you shouldn't always listen to a textbook. Dad was like, yeah. So I'm like, he could have been a CEO of his company the amount of time he's been there, bless him. And then you and Dan secretly got married in St. Lucia in a lavish wedding and flew all your employees over first class for a massive party. I love this assumption. We did see 3 weddings when we was in St. Lucia in our hotel.
Oh, what was that school thing? The government paid for all the teachers on the...
Yes.
On the island.
At our hotel, you had our hotel and then they had a conference centre. And it was, I think it was on the 2nd week of the holiday. There was a lot of women turning up. And we was like, it's got to be like some form of an event or like auction or a Dan discussion. And people think I'm the twisted one. And we was on the beach one night, weren't it? We had like our evening walk along the beach, and we saw them all on the beach in a circle, and you could tell they was doing like affirmations.
They was all holding their hands like in one massive big circle.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a good 50, 60 women there.
Easy.
And we was like, what on earth is this? And I can't remember, I think someone told us, it might have been the couple that we started talking to.
Was it that or one of the employees?
It might have been the butler, because we might have said, like, there's a lot of women around here. And he said the school had won an award or something, so they flew all the teachers out for 3 or 4 nights, and they was at the hotel. Imagine that. And then say we saw 3 weddings. We saw a wedding, we'd only been there a few days, we was in the pool actually, and it was on like the little pier bit. There was then a wedding up on the main bit, that was a huge wedding. And then we had a little one, our room was here and it was like there on the grass bit, wasn't it? An elderly couple.
That was nice.
But no, we didn't get secretly married. There was no lavish ceremony. But yeah, we did witness quite a lot. And I mean, it would have been a lovely place to get married. The people would have had lovely photos. Absolutely lovely. But yes, I love these types of videos. And I think it's even better when you have people in the background. We'll have to do one of these with Mum, because I would have loved to have heard Mum's reaction to some of these. You and Dan do not get on well when it's fake. She'd be like, what? Who said that? I'll be like, faceless ID, user ID, 247, whatever. She'd be like, But yes, my lovelies, as I say, I do hope this isn't corrupted. If it is, I'm going to pull my hair out. But if it somehow makes it to the internet, you know we've all gone well and dandy. Oh, and I'm getting an itchy nose. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Let's maybe not. Let's do the outro beforehand. Guys, if you did enjoy the video, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe down below. And leave me a comment. What do you think the best assumption was? Is there anything else that you would assume? And if you'd like to get involved, keep an eye out over my Instagram and sign up to my emails, and you could be involved whenever I next do these videos. But yes, take care, stay safe as always. And how do you think it went?
It was okay.
Yeah?
It was okay.
It's the first.
Don't like them Instagram ones though.
Okay.
Lemons.
Guys, take care, stay safe as always, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!